to the SCL Racing Network. I am your host, Carlin Hicks, tonight for a great night of preseason exhibition racing as we get ready to kick off the silver anniversary season 25 of the Sunday Cup League. As I said, this is Carlin Hicks. I'll be joined by Aaron CW here in the booth in a moment. And tonight you are here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the SCL Indy Legends preseason special. Final weekend of the official preseason, and should be a good show here, as we have got the first race will be a 30-minute multi-class sports car race on the road course, and that will feature the classic late 80s GTP Nissan racing in the Group C class against an open GTO division. As you can see, there's your qualifying for tonight's event. We will also have the 1986 Lotus 98T running on the Super Speedway after this special event. We'll talk more about upcoming SCL Season 25 later and our main championship series, but for tonight it's a special exhibition event and should be a good one. Second season driver Flat Out taking the pole here in, as you can see, torrential wet at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He will wind up on the pole. W from Renaissance Racing, WKK from newly joined JME Motorsports will start second. Shane O'Kano from Renaissance will be third. Daz from Team Danamore will start fourth. And then we've got a little bit of a split up as the GTO pole sitter, former Camel GTE champion, the Zebra from Benson Speed Equipment, will start fifth overall on the GTO pole. Rita St. James will start sixth in the GTO for JME Motorsports. Muttley from Renaissance Racing will start seventh and third in GTO. Rookie driver Rob Disco is in a Group C car. He will start shotgun on the field in eighth position, as we've got 5 Group C cars, 3 GTO cars in competition here for tonight's special event. As I said, we will immediately follow with the special speedway event for tonight's Indy Legends preseason special, and we will have some announcements coming up very shortly about the upcoming SCL Season 25 and Daytona Speed Weeks. We've got the Bathurst 500, the first official event of Season 25, coming up soon, and it should be a good one, as they are finishing up the drivers meeting right now and we are waiting to get the race started. We're going to take a station break and I'll be right back with you here on the SCL Racing Network.
It won't let me join the game.
I understand. That's because they're waiting for the room to start. Once it gets going, I can invite you. So just hang tight.
Carlin.
You ready to go?
We had Shayna have a rookie mistake. We're gonna have to back out and come back in, but I have a screenshot.
Gotcha. No problem.
So I have to retire. All right, gotcha.
All right, so you're good to go then? back on the air here as we are going to be, looks like there are a couple snafus at the starting line. They're going to reset the field here and get us ready to run. We've got Aaron CW, the rookie driver and the newly announced owner of AMG Motorsport. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Yep, he's here with us. Make sure that, go into the party, Aaron, make sure your mic's being shared. And turn it up just slightly.
Yep.
And you should be good to go. Make sure it's allowing it to be shared in the broadcast. Otherwise, the people watching will think I'm talking to myself.
Yep. We have it all on.
Yep, we are rolling. They're going to be getting themselves set back up here on the track. As we said, there were a few, generally don't always fill the fields for the exhibition races, but there were definitely a few withdrawals due to the weather conditions on the track. Not surprisingly. Or a little surprisingly, guys who may be in a points race during the season would be more than happy to hustle their car around in torrential conditions, but for an exhibition, obviously, they're going to wait for the speedway race later on this evening. So it is going to be, I believe, an 8-car field. What are we missing?
Rita.
Yeah, we're missing Rita St. James. There she is. So we are going to have an 8-car field. We've got 5 of the GTPs, 3 of the GTOs running here, a 30-minute race. Tonight's Indy, SCL Indy Legends preseason special. We're getting a little background noise off you, though, Aaron. All right, let's.
My keyboard.
I hear you. All right, looks like we got everybody. As soon as we get the last thumbs up from Rob Disco there, we'll give it a start. All right, these guys are going to be good to go. Said 2 classes, 30-minute race, and it is raining today in Indianapolis. We use the AccuLive weather. Those of you wondering who are in Indy saying, well, then it's snowing, it's because in the SCL from the preseason through week 3 of the 10-week season, it's spring. Then from weeks 4 to 7, it's summer, and 8 to the end of the season in week 10 is fall. So we get fairly different and accurate live weather, and today the weather in Indy translated into rain, so they're going to be fighting through the wet. As a driver who's won and done terrible in the wet, I can tell you it's a real challenge, particularly in these exhibition cars that they're not really familiar with. Now, you had a time out here on this track in the warm-up, Aaron. I believe you were in the Group C car?
Yes, I was.
What can you tell us about getting around this track in these conditions in that car?
It's very, very tricky. A lot of standing water in place. If you hit a puddle, you don't know where you're going to go. You could go into the wall, or you could shoot out to the other side. It's very unpredictable.
I hear you there. It's going to be finding the line, I think, more than anything. All right, they're going to be getting going. I'm going to be getting on the monitor as these guys are flipping around the track. I'm going to pull up the track map for you up there in the corner. And once they sort out, they are not going to be making the strategy stop. They are starting out on the default wets and making one pace lap here around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We've run here for who dropped out? Oh, no, that was just you. Okay, I got you. Yeah. I'll tell you, we've run here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for a long time. Obviously, we've run the Indianapolis 500 for the last 12 seasons. We've run the Brickyard 400 for the last 14 seasons. We've had a Brickyard Grand Prix for Camel GT here for about 10 seasons now, and untold numbers of support series races. So this is a long-time SCL venue as a North American sim racing league, and running this track. It's a very odd layout. You do need some straight end speed. The one time I was able to win the Brickyard Grand Prix on layout similar to this here in Camel GT, I was in a car that was very similar to the Nissans right there. It was a Peugeot 908, and the key really was to be good through the, getting onto the drag strip here and getting onto the speedway, because you could keep someone from getting up to you and passing you. And WKK there, starting in second place, knows what I'm talking about. He was the guy chasing me that day. That was way back in season 19. But they are going to be getting ready. We're going to jump to the back of the field here on the chase cam view. And it looks like Rob chose to go with an Audi Quattro GTO car, actually, after he had run the other car in qualifying. That is not a problem for an exhibition race, obviously. You would not be allowed to do that for the championship point series, but he's going to be at the back of the field. I'm wondering if they are splitting the field up. I thought he would start them together, but they are going to be starting a split start apparently between the two classes. So we're going to get up here to the front on board with Flat Out from Renaissance Racing. He is your pole sitter, leading Warren, Kyle, Keith, Shano, and Daz among the 4 Group C cars, as they are going to be coming to the line to take the green here. SCL Indy Legends Preseason Special, and we are just about green.
Yep.
Looks like now we've got the GTOs coming to it. There they go. That's how I should set it up in these multi-class races. GTO.
Green.
Yep, GTOs are green. A little shuffling around early there as Warren, Kyle, Keith gets through. Looks like Flat Out missed the first corner. And loses the lead, falls all the way back a couple seconds as WKK will shoot out with Shano Kano directly on his tail. Those are 2 former class champions in the Camel GT series right there, running 1 and 2. Meanwhile, another former Camel GT class champion, the Zebra, has jumped out to the lead narrowly in GTO, just ahead of Rita, Muttley, and Rob at the back of the pack. Let's get back up to the front battle here, to our leader WKK in Group C. Looks like we got a battle in GTO. We should get on there. Rita, get on her chase cam here. She is right on the tail of your leader, the Zebra. She's in the Porsche. What make is that, your Zebra in? Is that a Ferrari there, Aaron?
Yes, it's a Ferrari F40 LN.
Yeah, so a Porsche versus Ferrari here on the opening lap as they're coming through the final series of technicals before heading onto the front stretch. Very difficult portion of the track, particularly under wet conditions. And Rita's not far out in front of Muttley, who Muttley, now entering his 4th SCL season, has not had a ton of on-track success, but I'll tell you this, he has been terrific at times in the wet. He has a 4th place finish in a Camel GT race, I believe overall when it was raining. He's placed on the podium in some exhibitions. Rita goes wide. Yeah, Rita goes wide. That's going to give Muttley a shot at her here if he can keep the traction underneath him. And yes, he does. So that shoots him out to the front. Let's get on board that on the trackside cam. But like I said, Muttley, newly joining Renaissance Racing this season, he is faster in the rain than he is on a dry track, and let's see if he can do anything with the Zebra, former Camel GTE champion back in season 23, who's pulling out a bit of a lead here early on. They've made a clean lap, so they are green to the finish. Rita and Muttley right on top of each other right there. That's Muttley in the front Porsche, Rita in the back. Rita goes wide, catches a little bit of wall. Nimble little cars, those Porsches. I believe they're 911s, are they not?
I think they are.
Yeah, they're a variation thereof, that same series of 900 series of Porsche were one of the best GT sports cars of all time. If they had, yep, leader still up front. Let's go ahead and take a look back up towards the front of the field. There's Warren Kyle Keith from JME Motorsports, SCL Season 21 Camel GT Series champion. Podium finisher on multiple occasions in the Brickyard Grand Prix here, but has yet to win the event. He's holding 2.4 seconds over Shane Kano, the new team owner of Renaissance Racing, ran for the team last season. Looks like we got action back on the track. Yeah, Muttley goes wide and loses 4 seconds to Rita, but in this rain, plenty to go on. We'll give you a rundown, continue the rundown through the field here. Third place overall, there's your prototype driver, Daz. Fourth, coming into his 4th season from Team Danamore. He is a driver that a lot of people think maybe the call this season to have a breakout. Looking for that first career win in the Camel GT Series. And our pole sitter, Flat Out, 9.5 seconds back, tail end. Plenty of time here, though, 22 minutes on the clock. And conditions like this, the opponents can make just as many mistakes. He's just having a little trouble with his traction. I'm going to make a wide gamble here. No, he's got his stuff set up. On to GTO, 5th overall, leading in GTO in the Ferrari is the Zebra, Season 23 Camel GTE champion. Rookie of the Year that season as well in both Camel GT and IndyCar. He's heading into his 3rd season as he navigates Turn 1. Behind him, about 4 seconds back, Rita St. James, 1 career win in Camel GT, but she is a former IndyCar Series champion, Season 23 IndyCar champion, Indianapolis 500 winner. She's muscling that Porsche, now within about 4 seconds of the Zebra. Behind her is Muttley, newly signed to Renaissance Racing. He's looking at about a 5-second gap and trying to muscle his way back through. And we'll get a little airtime to the rookie driver, Rob Disco, who has shown some speed in practice. He is very, very green to the SCL style of rules and style of specs on the cars, and so has muscled his way through here early. But we look for promising things from him in the future. He's rounding out the field right now and getting the car underneath him in some very difficult circumstances. But I'm gonna go ahead and get a let's grab a cockpit view, Aaron, with where there's some separation, and you tell me who you're on board with and take us on a walk of the track. Who are you on board with?
On board with Rob, one of the newer drivers for the SCL.
And running in the cockpit here of the, we're getting the leaders up near the start-finish line. Let's get on board with WKK. Why don't you give us a lap walk here, Aaron? Warren's coming through the last section. Go ahead, take us through it.
Come through the last section here. There's a puddle on the inside of the curb. You have to be very careful, which can also send you into the wall, and you come around the last corner onto the main Indianapolis front stretch. So watch your braking, because you can outbrake yourself very, very easy here at Indy on the road course. Warren made that. Make sure the first chicane okay. Do the second. Be very careful, don't run away out into gravel. You can get beached very easy. Through there. And up to the left under here. Using the karting lane, I think it is, trying to get the most out of the car. Only 1.5 seconds behind is Shane O'Kano. Behind Warren.
Yeah, he's closing in definitely as Warren goes through this last section here. Coming off onto the drag strip. Yep. We'll let him complete this lap on board with you and get back on the trackside cam, guys, as we have got serious action. Those are your overall leaders.
Crossed the line.
Just a second apart as Shane O'Kano chasing WKK. As I said, a pair of former champions, Warren, season 21 Camel GT Series champion, Shano, the last season, season 24 Camel GTE champion. Winner of the Bathurst 500, which is an event that'll be coming up that he's going to be looking to defend that title. And they're at this distance and on this kind of track, basically right on top of each other. That's about as close as you can get without completely losing vision. So you have to be real careful setting it up. You can see the puddling down there at the end of the drag strip. As we'll go into our preferred chase cam mode here on Shane O'Kano as he's trying to set up Warren. Come on to the... He's closing in a lot through that section, but it's getting the grip to try to make a move. Warren's the type of driver that steady smooth. He won't make a lot of mistakes. Shano burps it off there because he didn't gain any time, so he's clean. He's trying to fight to get some grip here on that thing. But I believe everybody is at this point. You can see the vision that he's got is not very good, even in daylight conditions in this kind of rain. You know, one of these days at Daytona or Le Mans, we're going to see a full-blown rainstorm. We've seen it at Daytona and the Continental in the past. Talking about it at the events last night. Back in season 17, we actually had to red flag a race because the rain was so bad at Daytona that season. Yeah, he is right on top of him. This is the tough spot. You need to be able to outbrake through here, but the puddles are forming right there at the end of the drag strip, so that's making it tough to make any kind of move there, and it just puts the lead car in the edge. Now Shane has a bit of an edge. He's got 12 seconds over third place Daz, but 12 that could go away very easily if you spin the car as well. He's not under pressure, but he's by no means in the clear as we head down towards 15 minutes remaining in this Indy Legends preseason special. A little bit of closeness here also between Flat Out and Daz. We're on board with Flat Out was your pole sitter, lost it in the wet in turn 1 and has been trying to recover ever since. As I said, the way things are shaping up, it's by no means over, but he is closing in on Daz, just a couple seconds off of Daz in front of him. But we've got some battling up front here in GTO as well. The Zebra's still in the lead, but he's just 2 seconds out in front of Rita. You can see her just coming into your screen back there with Muttley a few seconds back. Basically one slip, and they're back into it.
Muttley seems to be in the way of the faster.
Yeah, it looks like he's given up time. He definitely lost time letting Shano by, but that makes sense. Muttley is a driver for Renaissance Racing. Shane O'Kano is the team owner for Renaissance Racing. So when the team owner comes up in the faster class car, I guess Muttley realized I need to break off what I'm doing and let the team owner by. So he let him by, lost probably a second or a couple seconds himself, but 15 minutes to go. Crossed flags halfway. We'll see if he can reel Rita back in. Meanwhile, Rita, she's trying to make way for Shano, or I'm sorry, for Warren here. The Zebra, who she is right behind, yeah. This is one heck of a battle. Let's go in the chase cam to Rita. She's got the 2 prototypes leaders going right by her up front, while at the same time trying to maintain contact with the Zebra, who is just in front of them. As you can see right there, he's about to catch the prototype leaders. On board with Shane, since that's going to be the best view possibly. He is once again trying on the chase cam here with Shane, and he is trying to get by. He may have the room there as he goes to go by Warren. They head down. He's got it into the... And he makes it. It's like Warren's going to take it through. Shano looked like he had it made, but hit the grass. I'm going to go back onto the chase cam right behind all this with Daz now, I believe. No, not Daz, I'm sorry. With Rita the Zebra. He's fought it back, however. All right, back on board up front. Warren and Shane side by side. There's no grip and no room to make that move. They're both sliding all over the place. Shano's going to try to set him up here. Nose to tail down the front stretch, but I don't know if you can count on your brakes. He's shown himself to Warren. Contact. It would look like a clean pass. He had shown. I believe he was close enough to him to where he could see him, but we're not on board with Warren in that shot, so it's tough to tell. But it looks like Shano has made the pass. He was fully up alongside him when they finally touched, but a little contact like you'd expect here. But now it's Warren's turn to flip the script.
He's getting the slipstream off the Group C car, which throws here up over the car behind it.
Absolutely, he's definitely getting quicker on the straightaway and on the drag strip. You're definitely gaining on. You're definitely using a little bit of draft. Slipstreaming up in front of you. The trick is the grip coming out of the corners, and neither one of them has been able. I don't think anybody has that right now. There's not a car on the track.
In the GTO lead between
Zebra and Rita back on board with that, as we've got two battles on the track.
Flat out run wide in the final section.
We've got nose-to-tail battles for the lead in both classes. Only here do you see that for the most part, guys, in the SCL. As I said, I told this story in last week's exhibition broadcast as they're coming up through more lap traffic here. And last season's final race, SCL 24, 4 hours of Le Mans after 4 hours of racing, including AI co-drivers. The winning margin was 0.839 seconds in the overall class after 4 hours of racing. This kind of specs makes these cars come together, and that's what we're seeing in both spots on the track here. Is Warren trying to set up Shane and get that spot back. He's got 11 minutes to do so. Meanwhile, back in the battle for the lead in the GTO class, Rita is right on the tail of the Zebra in the Ferrari, a great Ferrari Porsche battle. Muttley was also part of that. He's not far back right now. And let's give some airtime here to Rob, still fighting it through. He's obviously been struggling with the car in one of his first races in the league, but as I said, we've seen speed on him in practice in a couple of the cars. The other night he was in a Winston Cup test session and ran times that would have likely put him in the field, to be honest, if he had to make it in on time. Would have, depending on how the provisionals looked that particular week, would have probably got him in the field. So we know he can figure it out, but he's test driving a brand new car on brand new software on a wet track on a course he has never been on, and he's holding it up. He's got his class leaders coming up about to lap him here with 10 minutes to go, but he'll be in for the Lotus race coming up, I'm sure. Let's get back on board there. Chase cam with Rita St. James as she is trying everything here on the Zebra. Yep, Warren is back in the lead now. It's impossible to keep track of both classes, and here in the, I mean, that's a good thing for our viewers, but it's very hard to keep track of both of the battles because they're both very, very close here. Rita has taken the lead. We missed the change of the lead in GTO as Zebra, he's 10 seconds back. He must have went wide and wrecked there through the S's.
Only a second back Muttley is.
Yeah, he's got Muttley right behind him. So Zebra lost something. I'm not sure if there was an incident, there was contact. We'll find out after the race. But Rita St. James has jumped out into the GTO lead by 8.5 seconds with 9 minutes to go. So that puts the onus on the battle up front. Shano's fallen back a couple of seconds here to Warren, who's now in the overall lead. So it's JME Motorsports cars leading in both classes. And now that we got a bit of separation, we'll go ahead and give a walk rundown with 8 minutes to go. And your overall lead is Warren Kyle Keith. Second is Shano Kano, trailing him by 2 seconds, trying to get back into it. And third is your pole sitter Flat Out. He's about 28 seconds back and holding an 8-second lead over Daz, coming through right there. Your GTO leader is Rita St. James there, working her way through the turn one section. She's your GTO leader. She's got 8 seconds on the class pole sitter, the Zebra, who is battling it out with Muttley right now in the wet. And looks like there's a GTP car trying to get through here. I believe that's Daz trying to find a spot through, and he's going to loop it into the grass on the short carousel there.
Down to half a second between Warren and Shane O'Kano. They'll come up onto the start fence line.
Yeah, I'm going to get back onto the chase cam, which is the best spot to see what the driver's seeing. Shano's trying to line him up. 7.5 minutes to go. This speed a lap, that's about 1, 2, 3, about 4 or 5, maybe 5 laps, possibly 6, more than likely 5. As he's trying to set him up through the carousel.
Coming down the drag strip, but falling behind a bit.
He's having trouble there through those S's, and Warren is handling it very smoothly. Really, the car in the lead is able to handle it smoothly. But right here, you got to hit that spot perfectly. You got to voice. He catches a little too much of the puddle. Nothing you can do about it. It's not driver error as much as it's just circumstance. But he's trying to find a spot to pick up. Meanwhile, Muttley, the battle for 6th overall, 2nd in GTO, has Muttley going by Rob Disco, and he's going after the Zebra for 2nd in class. As these two are running about 10 seconds behind Rita in the class lead. Muttley in the Porsches. Yeah, he'll fight his way out in that Audi Quattro. As we said, he's muscling his way through here. Has shown some promise, but hadn't been his day. I believe that Daz, realizing where he's at, might just be trying to stay out of the GTO battle's way as he's fighting the car too, but there's not much he can do. If they're not straight, then he's not going to be straight.
Probably going to try to pass him on
the front stretch, absolutely. That's what I would think, as you're back on the chase with Muttley, as he is not. And Rob, he spun it, he's pulled it out of the way for the cars in front of him. Sportsmanlike maneuver. As we said, he's fighting that car. We give him credit for riding it out to the finish here. As he's getting it going there. Meanwhile, closest battle there, Muttley is trying to chase down Zebra for 6th overall and 2nd in GTO. Rita still out front by about 10 seconds, and it's still a close battle up front, but Shano's lagged back a couple seconds there to WKK for the lead as they are working lap 18 overall. Muttley is right on his tail. Muttley has taken that line very, very aggressively, but very well. You can see him coming right up on top. Now that might be the Porsche. Maybe it has a little more traction than the Ferrari. Yeah, it's four-wheel drive and it's got more traction than the Ferrari. But Muttley's definitely eating him up through there. And I know for Muttley, it'd be a big moral victory to take second in class away from a former Camel GT champion. Put yourself here. You're on the chase cam with Muttley, Aaron. Put yourself on board here. What are you thinking at this point? Right as I set you up for that, it looks like you might get by him.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to get funny. The full second, he's trying to get more speed and he's better at the corners. He's forward right. And if the wet conditions he can cope with the puddles, that kind of better than the reverse car can. And as I say that, he's going to get wide.
He grabs it back under him. Get back on the trackside cam here. As you can see the distance, Zebra, as I said, definitely has speeds, multiple wins in Camel GT. He's also won in IndyCar and in numerous support races. Got a little loose with the rumble strip there, but it's good enough for a warning. I didn't see him gain any real time. That is your closest battle on the track. Oh, he's trying, and they got prototypes in the background as well. As I said, Muttley hasn't lit it up in his 3 SCL seasons by any means. He's still looking for a points win in one of the major series, but I'll tell you this, we have seen great runs out of him in the rain. He's good at Bathurst in his home country, and he's excellent in the wet. And right now he's proven it because he's generally a second or more off pace in a car like this to the Zebra. But he is absolutely running dead on with him, and part of it's the car, the four-wheel drive, like you said. That's no doubt part of it, Aaron. But you can see also Muttley setting up the corners right. You know, he's being pretty precise with it. He's trying to make room here as a prototype's trying to get through him. That is a bad time for that to happen because we're back on board with the Zebra who's trying to get in on Muttley. He's got the speed on him right here, but there's nowhere for both of them to go too wide. Muttley might have overshot it. This is where this Zebra, oh, is he going to go wide under the grass? Muttley could have survived that a little better with the four-wheel, but he's going to fight right back. We got a minute and a half to go. This action's been terrific, and so we have been missing the up front. Shano obviously pushing harder, is falling to 4.5 seconds back from WKK.
The first corners, one of the battles, and we lost the time.
Rita still 9 seconds ahead of this battle. As there you can see it right there. Zebra trying to catch up to Muttley right in front of him as they come onto the front stretch. Less than a minute to go. I believe we should be taking the white flag lap here pretty soon. Where's our overall leader at? He just took the line. That means this should be the white flag lap. This should be the white flag lap. Warren Kyle Keith with a 10-second lead here. Going to look to bring it around and put this away. So we're going to go back to the closest battle on the track, which is Zebra and Muttley for Zebra and Muttley for second place in GTO. He's got cars on his tail as well, does Zebra. He's trying to make room for Daz, but tough to do it at this point in the race and in these conditions as they come together a little bit. That Daz are flat out. No, it's Daz. Okay. And it looks like there's been a separation thanks to that little battle with the GTP car, and it looks like Muttley may be able to pull it out. We're going to jump back up front, coming down towards the final section, looking to get the Group C an overall win from JME Motorsports. Yeah, the white flag is out. We should be getting the checkered flag here momentarily as WKK, newly signed, a longtime SCL veteran, entering his, I believe, ninth SCL season. First season with JME Motorsports, and he takes it home with the win. Coming up behind him for second, 5 seconds back, Shane O'Kano from Renaissance will finish in second place. Where's our well ahead's going to be Rita. We'll jump on board with her as she has crossed the line. Rita St. James, also from JME Motorsports, taking home the victory in GTO. Yep, and a fantastic run from Muttley. Second place in GTO. Outdueled the former Camel GTE champion, who was definitely fighting that car in the wet, got into some trouble with traffic. But here,
the oval's being dried.
As we speak, the oval's being dried, absolutely. There's Warren Kyle Keith, your winner in GTO, or I'm sorry, your winner in Group C, and your GTO winner, Rita St. James, both of them coming from the shops of JME Motorsports. So a JME sweep here in this first race. We're going to get the timer down and get our overall board for you right there, folks. There is your overall board. Let's get our class finishes as soon as it lets me here. Group C, Victor WKK. Second place was Shano. Third, Flat Out from Renaissance Racing. And from Team Danamore in fourth was Daz. And in the GTO class, we've got Rita St. James with the win here in the wet for JME. Muttley from Renaissance finishes second. Zebra from Benson Speed Equipment is third. And Rob Disco, the independent driver, brings it home in fourth. That's going to sign us out here for now, folks. We are about 20 minutes away from the start of the Speedway race. We'll be back on the air then. We hope you'll join us here shortly, so please stand by. Thanks for joining us. For Aaron CW, this is Carlin Hicks on the SCL Radio, SCL Racing Network.